A blooming oasis at the foot of the majestic mountains, or as the residents call it, a city of 1,000 colors. Hello, this is Terra Incognita, and my name is Anton Fedorov, and I continue exploring the largest city of Kazakhstan, Almaty. Residents of the city are lucky. The city's southern part has the snow-capped mountain peaks, which are considered to be the main must-visit place. And of course, I have to go on tour through this picturesque place. I'm inviting you to join me. The path to my destination lies through the foothills of the Trans-Ili Alatau. This mountain range is the northwestern part of the Tian Shan and is located on the border of Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. It is surrounded by several majestic peaks with permafrost and millennial ice. The highest point of Trans-Ili Alatau is Talgar Peak. Its height is almost 5,000 meters. For comparison, Mount Everest, the highest point on the planet, is only 3,800 meters higher than this peak. According to scientists, the ridge of the Trans-Ili Alatau was formed about 12 million years ago. It consists of 440 glaciers, which occupy an area of more than 170 square kilometers. Mountain rivers that go down from these glaciers provide the city with clean drinking water. Trans-Ili Alatau Ridge was formed under the influence of earthquakes, rock falls, mud flows, and changes in riverbeds. Every year, this mountain rises by an average of 5 millimeters and continues to grow to this day. With every kilometer, the air temperature goes down by several degrees. At an altitude of more than 3,900 meters, it doesn't go higher than zero at all. The Trans-Ili Alatau has a variety of plants and animals. The slopes of these mountains have mainly conifers, aspen, and Tian Shan spruce. Tian Shan brown bears, snow leopards, ibex, snowcocks, and chukars live on those snowy peaks. In order to preserve the population of these species, the Ili Alatau National Natural Park was established on the territory of the Trans-Ili Alatau, which attracts tourists year-round. You can look at these landscapes endlessly, enjoying the local beauty. I haven't noticed how I arrived at my destination. If you Google 3 most amazing places in Almaty, believe me, this place will definitely be in the top 3. Just 20 minutes ride away from the city, and we are at the foot of the snow-capped peaks and on the shores of one of the brightest sights of Almaty. Well, are you ready? Here it is, the Big Almaty Lake. Big Almaty Lake is located at an altitude of 2,511 meters above sea level. It appeared as a result of an earthquake. About 2,000 years ago, a landslide came down from the slopes of the Big Almaty Peak, which blocked the gorge and formed a natural dam. The depth of the lake is about 40 meters, but the water level here is unstable and can vary within 20 meters. The reservoir reaches its maximum level in August and the minimum in February. Basically, the lake is filled by the river, but besides it, a large number of streams and spring flows go into the reservoir. The color of the water surface changes with the water level in the lake, depending on the time of year. Its color can differ from green to turquoise blue. This bright color of the lake attracts hundreds of tourists. Well, I'm continuing my journey through the mountains of Almaty, and I want to tell you about the place, which is considered to be a symbol of the city. Medeo is one of the world's biggest alpine complexes for winter sports, with the largest area of artificial ice covering 10,500 square meters. It is located at an altitude of 1,691 meters above the sea level. It was built in 1972, and during this period, 170 world records were set here. Today, Medeo is national importance. The whole Kazakhstan is proud of this ring. It is not just sports complex. Medeo is also a real engineering masterpiece. The thickness of the ice stadium is 2 meters 30 centimeters. 170 kilometers of cooling tubes are embedded in the ice surface. The system of artificial freezing of ice is unique and allows maintaining the ice surface of the rink for 8 months a year. And this is not everything that can be seen in the foothills of Almaty. I'm going further into the mountains, where we will see another great part of Trans-Ily Alatau. I need to use the cable car to go higher. This cable car was built according to the latest technical and engineering standards. Its capacity is 2,000 people per hour. This line is the third largest in the world. And the distance from Medeo to our destination, 4.5 kilometers. And here we are in the Shimbulak ski resort. It is located in a picturesque place in the mountains of the Trans-Ily Alatau at an altitude of 2,260 meters above sea level. Initially, this resort was planned as a base for training of Soviet skiers, while today tourists from all over the world come here. The history of this ski resort began in the late 40s of the last century. Several alpine lovers discovered a beautiful corner located in the Shimbulak tract. They immediately realized that this place has a long natural slope with a varied terrain, ideal for descending. Later, it turned out that together with pure mountain snow, the slope gives excellent sliding and grip, which aroused great interest among skiers. So that's how the first track of the international level has appeared.
Горнолыжный курорт Чимбулак. Мы сейчас позиционируем как горный курорт, круглогодичный.
We are now positioning the Shimbulak ski resort as a year-round mountain resort because now more than 50% people come here in the summer, and that's because of big city of Almaty. You know, 15 minutes ride by car and you can get to the cable car. In fact, this is a unique case for a ski resort, so high in the mountains, and we see that many Almaty residents spend time here and can ride during their lunch break.
Это уникальный случай для горнолыжного курорта столь высокого в горах. Поэтому мы наблюдаем, например, что многие алматинцы проводят здесь, например, могут кататься просто свой обеденный перерыв.
Shimbulak has not immediately become popular. When the first alpine skiing competition started here, the athletes faced one serious problem. Climbing the mountain with equipment was very difficult. Sometimes the journey could take up to 3 hours. Athletes were tired and could not show good results. This problem was solved, and in 1954, a cable car with a length of 1.5 kilometers, which leads directly to the mountain tops, started working here. The Shimbulak ski resort is located in an ideal climate zone. In summer, the temperature here rises just above 20 degrees, and in winter, it rarely drops below -7. Such conditions make it possible to maintain the thickness of the snow cover on the slopes up to 1.5 meters. Over the past few years, this ski resort has gone through a serious technical modernization. Hotels, restaurants were built, the slopes were equipped with special snow cannons, which allowed increasing the thickness of the snow cover and extending the skiing season to 6 and 7 months a year. In 2011, Shimbulak hosted the Asian Winter Games, and in 2017, the World Winter University. If your interest in the mountains is not limited to skiing and snowboarding, here people can find entertainment for every taste. For true lovers of hiking in the mountains, there is a unique opportunity to climb from Shimbulak to an altitude of 3,200 meters above sea level. The weather here is completely different. It can be seen that it is snowing, but the view is stunning, and you can see the clouds coming down from the sky to the mountains. These mountains, despite their harsh temper and climate, constantly attract hundreds of tourists. People are not stopped by the cold weather, and they are ready to enjoy the local nature under any conditions. After traveling to a place where the air temperature is 20 degrees lower than in the city, we must warm up with hot tea. Everyone who has ever visited the mountains fell in love with them forever. For some people, mountains have become the meaning of life. Here I met a very interesting man. Meet Maksud Jumay, a professional Kazakh climber, one of the top 12 climbers who managed to reach all 8,000-meter peaks around the world.
Знаете, я родом, можно сказать, с прикаспийской низменности.
You know, I am from the Caspian lowland. I am a true steppe guy. And when I first came to Almaty, mountains were something unusual for me. There is no such thing in the steppe. Of course, it was interesting. I became curious and got carried away. I went to the mountains, and here, in addition to the scale unusualness of them, I was mostly struck by the people in the mountains, climbers, tourists, and the society has become my family.
Ходят в горах те же самые альпинисты, туристы, скалолазы. Вот, и это комьюнити, это общество стало для меня родным.
In a short conversation, Maksud admitted that it was a matter of principle for him to reach all 14 summits above 8,000 meters. Maksud conquered his first few peaks in the Kazakhstan's national mountaineering team and then decided to set his personal goal of climbing the 14 highest peaks in the world. The climber says that for each ascent, he had to prepare separately, study the route, choose the best weather conditions, prepare physically and psychologically. For example, Maksud managed to climb to the top of Mount Chogori on the border of Pakistan and China only after his 6th attempt.
Любое восхождение, безусловно, требует к себе.
Any ascent, of course, requires special attention. You don't have the right for mistakes. Therefore, it is necessary to get ready for any ascent as it is the most difficult and dangerous. Then there is a chance that the ascent will end successfully.
Что восхождение закончится успешно.
Now Maksud trains the climbers. What fascinates about this man is his fearlessness in front of the nature. This is the manifestation of the spirit of this athlete, which does not give up, no matter what.
Вот вы знаете, что я сейчас чувствую? Я чувствую ветер.
Do you know how I feel now? I feel the wind, I feel the cold, I feel the upcoming hurricane.
И это правда.
And this is true. This is life. For me, mountains are power. They're like an ocean, like a desert.
Как пустыня.
This is what you do not compete with. This is what you become a part of, something you dissolve in.
То, с чем ты становишься наравне.
Therefore, it is great to be part of the elements. It is not for everyone. Now I feel the storm coming, and this is amazing. This is life.
Поэтому сейчас я чувствую, грянет буря, и это классно. Это жизнь. Это нерв жизни.
During our short interview, the weather in the mountains got worse suddenly. A strong wind appeared from nowhere, and it began to rain. But this did not stop Maksud. He went to the mountains looking for the new adventures. Well, it's time for me to go back to warm Almaty, where I will continue exploring that amazing city. Almaty is a truly unique city. In just a few hours, you can climb to a height of over 2,500 meters or go under the ground by dozens of meters. And yes, as you probably guessed, now we're talking about the Almaty Metro. For many big cities, the metro is a common thing, but for Almaty it is much more than that. Almaty Metro is the real pride of the whole country, and now I'll tell you why. In the late 80s of the last century, Almaty received the status of a million-plus city, and the Soviet Union had rules. The population of the city reaches 1 million people, it needs a subway. In 1988, construction of the metro began in Almaty, but after 3 years, the Soviet Union collapsed. The construction of the metro stopped. The first years of independence for Kazakhstan were a real test. The country was restoring the economy almost from scratch. It was necessary to solve acute social problems. It is clear that the construction of the metro was abandoned. For several years, Kazakhstan strengthened its economic opportunities, and at the beginning of the 2000s, it was decided to resume the construction of the Almaty Metro. In 2011, the first stage of the metro, with a length of 8.5 kilometers, was commissioned. And today, 35 to 40,000 people a day use metro services. Almaty Metro is a true work of art. Architects, engineers, and designers performed the most difficult task. They built a subway in a city with seismic activity and located at an angle to the surface. The stations of the Almaty Metro are decorated in the national style. One of them is called Abay, in honor of the great Kazakh poet, enlightener, philosopher, the founder of Kazakh written literature, Abay Kunanbayev. This station is located at a depth of 78 meters. The architectural and artistic solution of the station is made in a modern style, without the use of traditional architectural elements. The walls are marble, the floors are covered with granite. The eaves are made of stainless steel. At the end of the platform, there is an artistic panel made in relief technique in bronze and a Florentine mosaic. The composition is made in a modern style. The bronze relief depicting Abay Kunanbayev is highlighted on a stone background on which passages from the poet's works are written. This is done to ensure that the younger generation of Kazakh people knows their origins and roots. In general, I noticed that Kazakhstan has a particular trepidation and respect when it comes to its history, culture, and traditions. And this is understandable because the Kazakh people for centuries accumulated the wisdom of their ancestors, which helped them survive the most difficult times. Today, many ancient traditions have been preserved in my country, and I want to tell you about one of them. Berkuchi. That's how Kazakhs call hunters, with the eagles. In most cases, eagles are suitable for these complex tasks. I came to visit the successor of the ancestral traditions of hunting with the golden eagle, Anton Fedorov. Arman was taught by his father to hunt with the eagles. At the age of 7, the boy could hold a bird and train it to hunt. Together with the golden eagle named Ushkar, which means flyer, we went to the field to see how this free bird behaves while hunting. I met this bird about 5 years ago. The nestling fell out of the nest. And when they fall out of their nest, they cannot go back. People pick them up. They did not know what to do with them. And when they found out that I was a Berkuchi, they suggested that I take him so that I could train him to hunt. So that's how I got it. I made documents, put a chip, and since then, this golden eagle lives in my house. I named this bird Ushkar, flyer, because it flies very fast. If we talk about history, about how these birds appeared near Kazakhs, then I can say that our ancestors have been hunting with them since the time of Genghis Khan. In general, golden eagles live 80 to 100 years, but we keep them for 10-15 years. Then we release them in a place where we have found them, because this bird must live freely. The tradition to use golden eagles in hunting comes from antiquity. The nomads knew that these birds were first-class hunters. It took a long time for a hunter to tame the golden eagle, but he gets an indispensable assistant. It is not easy to make the bird, which has never seen the cage, hunt and bring new prey. But the tradition of hunting with birds has been preserved in Kazakhstan for many centuries. And every year, country hosts competitions for the title of the best Berkuchi.
Адамға баулу керек, бұл әр бүркіттің мінезі әр адамның мінезі сияқты.
The bird must get used to the person. Each golden eagle has its own character, just like people. If some are very close to a person, then others feel like strangers. Some see a friend in man, and some see them as food providers. Just like people, golden eagles are different, courageous, dexterous, and there are also fearful ones. It is very difficult to get close with them. There is such a thing as to take away a sleep from a bird. This is done in order to accustom the eagle to all kinds of noise. When it comes to the young ones, it is easier to hunt with them. Young birds are, by nature, already closer to the person until they grow up. Usually they get used to the people during feeding.
Жүңі кішкене оңайлау, ол адамға жақын болып өседі табиғатынан. Кішкентай кезінде көзін ашқалы, тамақ беретін адам болған адамға жақын болып өседі.
In order for the eagle not to lose their skills, hunters train them. They tie the fox fur to the rope and begin to run across the steppe or ride a horse. The bird rises into the sky and sees the prey.
Бұның енді жалпы алып жейтін тамағы кекілік болады, қоян болады, түлкі болады, суыры болады көбінесе көктем уақытында.
Mostly the golden eagle eats a partridge, a hare, a fox, a marmot. In the springtime, during the incubation of chicks, they hunt mainly for marmots. With the advent of cold weather, they begin to hunt for foxes and jackals.
Бірақ табиғатта көбінесе мына қол балалар өзінің күшін білмейді, жаңадан шыққан балапан тірнек кездерінде
Only a strong golden eagle can hunt for a wolf. Young birds usually overestimate their strength, so they are often injured from fighting with a strong predator. Experienced big golden eagles know during the run of the wolf whether they will be able to defeat him or not.
Алдына қашқан аңның қашып бара жатқанда күші жететін жетпейтінін біледі. Ірі құстар, үлкен, жасы үлкен құстар. Балапан құс, балапан не алмайды, салса баптап дейді.
People say that one eagle could provide food for the whole family. Golden eagle is one of the 7 treasures of the Kazakh people, along with a fast hunting dog, a horse, and so on. Golden eagle has its place in human life.
Бір ауылды асыраған деп айтады да. Негізі 7 қазынасы
It brings a lot of benefit. With it, you can hunt a fox, a hare, and there are very strong eagles that can even hunt a wolf. From the ancient times, the bird was close to our people.
Қоянға саласың, түлкіге саласың, шибөріге саласың, монер мықтылар да болады, арасында қасқырға түсетіндер де болады. Бұл адамға өте жақын құс, табиғатына жақын құс негізі.
Recognizing and getting to know the traditions of the people closely, we understand their full value. We must not forget what makes us citizens of the country, our history, culture, language, and traditions of our ancestors. In the modern world, it is easy to become faceless. Therefore, in Kazakhstan, more than 130 nationalities live in peace and friendship, because each of them has the opportunity to be close to their roots. Well, I need to visit one more place, which has the most beautiful view of the city. I came to Koktebe Mountain. It is located in the city and, along with Medeo and Shimbulak, is one of the most interesting places. In 2004, the city decided to build an amusement park on this mountain. The cableway was reconstructed, the slope was reinforced, and rides were set on top. Along with a mini zoo and monument to the famous beetles, from this place you can see the famous Almaty TV tower. Its height is 372 meters, and this tower is also a symbol of the city and its highest structure. But the most important thing is the observation deck, which offers a beautiful view of the city. Unfortunately, I was not lucky. Like many, mega cities in the world, Almaty faces the problem of air pollution, and by the end of the working day, the city almost disappears. However, this did not spoil my impressions of staying in this amazing and beautiful city. My journey through Almaty ends. I am saying goodbye to this bright, beautiful, and welcoming city, which has given me the warmest emotions. Well, my adventures continue, and I'm going to the most picturesque regions of Kazakhstan, the Almaty region. This is Terra Incognita. My name is Anton Fedorov. See you in the next episode.